Did you know black foster children were used in AIDS drug testing between the 1990s and 2000s? And the thing is, this is just like 1% of all the bullshit they did to them, bro. Like, as fucked up as it is for me to say this, bro, like, how much can one ethnic group take, bro? And the thing is, they've been doing this bullshit to y'all for more than 400 years now. And it gets to a point, bro. Like these corporations and institutions and elites and government agencies, they don't give a fuck about y'all. They don't.
Nope.
They really don't. I told y'all, melanated people in general, black people, indigenous people, y'all were the first ones that they needed to test on before mass population control. Y'all were the first ones. Y'all were the first ones they had to test on and experiment on. So during the 1990s and early 2000s, hundreds of foster children, the vast majority of whom were black and Latino, were enrolled in government-funded AIDS drug trials across at least 7 U.S. states. These children, many of them infants, were given experimental antiretroviral medications whose safety for children was largely unknown at the time. The trials were funded by the National Institutes of Health and carried out by top research institutions, with New York City at the center of the controversy. Critically, most of these children were enrolled without the independent legal advocates required by federal law to protect their interests. Some children experienced serious side effects, including rashes, vomiting, and dangerous drops in white blood cell counts, and at least 10 died during the studies. And y'all still trust these people, right? All these scientific research motherfuckers, y'all still trust them with your lives and your health after all this bullshit that's getting exposed. And you know what's crazy? Black people and Latinos, like, we've been knew this, bro. We've known this for decades. But for the ones that don't know, that's okay. I'm about to tell y'all. While officials defended the trials as a desperate response to a pediatric AIDS crisis, federal investigators ultimately confirmed that ethical and legal rules had been broken, leaving a deeply troubling legacy around the use of vulnerable children of color in medical experimentation. And I told you guys, black, melanated, Latino, and indigenous people, we were the first ones that they had to test on. We were the first ones they had to experiment, torture, terrorize, and just completely fuck over and legit cause us mental, psychological, physical, and spiritual warfare for centuries. And it's still happening to this day. But we were the first test dummies. You understand? Because they don't care, bro. Even if you're a Caucasian person watching this, it doesn't.
So what y'all think about that, y'all? So you heard the brother, I believe he's tribal Issachar. You heard the brother say, out of his own mouth, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people are the ones that, are the ones that's most oppressed. We're the ones that they do all these trial experiments on without our knowledge. You see, y'all thought it was just back in the 60s, or back in the 30s and the 40s with the syphilis, the Tuskegee experiment. Y'all thought it was just back then and that was it. No, this took place back in 2000. You see, they still experimenting on us. You see, they experimented on us with the jab. You see, they was pushing that stuff hard in the hood. We're gonna give you a case of beer. We're gonna give you some marijuana. You see, just take the jab. You see, y'all didn't see nothing wrong with that. So the brother said, I don't understand how one race of people, can endure so much trauma, so much oppression, All right, so when you go to Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 46, it says, "And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." So all these things that's happening to black and Hispanic Native American people, the Most High said it's going to be a sign upon you. We the whole world is going to be able to look, at one particular race of people and ask why is all these things happening, to these individuals. They're gonna be able to tell, we're the ones that's living in the hoods, in the ghettos. We feel the prison systems. You see, we don't get fair judgment when we go in the courtroom. You see, we get the full. We, if you can give someone 2 years for a crime, or 10 years, we get the 10 years most of the time. We don't get a deferred adjudication or probation. You see, when we commit crime, you see. But all these things, the Tuskegee experiments, the jab coming to your neighborhood and pushing all this stuff on you, for you to take the jab. All these experiments, they go into Africa. Bill Gates and his ugly wife going to all these countries in Africa and talking about we're gonna vaccinate, the population. Giving the population drugs to sterilize them. You see, all these things happen to God's chosen people. No one else. See, they go to these countries and they give the populace HIV. You see, they inject HIV into the population, and then they say, well, this disease started off in Africa. It's because they're having sex with the monkeys. Nonsense. And a lot of people believe that. A lot of dumb, ignorant people believe that. You see. So what y'all think about this situation? Do y'all think that anyone else has suffered more than Black and Hispanic, Native American people? Put in the comments. Is the Bible, is the Bible a lie? Are we still under the curses? Put in the comments. What's y'all thoughts about it?